What the hell happened, Victor?
He's a bit overconfident. He's a bit arrogant. I think it was a wake-up call for South Africa.
I think if you're an All Black, to win in Cordoba is not easy.
I mean, you're New Zealand. You should be number one in the world.
Do you see the Rugby Championship as a two-horse race?
This competition will help us win the next World Cup.
I'm still looking forward to that Eden Park test match, I must say.
Your biggest risk is I think your team's old.
Andre is 31. He's younger than Bowden Barrett. Thanks for the time, boys. I'm flying tomorrow, and I was just thinking, I can't tell you guys I'm not coming on the show. Then it would look bad.
Nah, it's all good, mate. It's important
4 o'clock in the morning here in Sydney, Australia. It's 6 o'clock in New Zealand. It was the only time you're available, Victor, but we're not going to let you get off this show. So.
Nice and early this week. Let's get this over.
I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased you're wearing that.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud, South African.
Yeah, nice.
Right, Victor, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell happened, Victor? Mate, I could not believe. I've never seen a game like that before.
No. You know what? They came out. I mean, the first 20 minutes was like, okay, this is a team on the next level. But remember, we talked about it last week. South Africa is not New Zealand. We're not Ireland. And it's difficult to say because I've played in a team with the Bulls where we were really dominant and we started off very conservative. We had a certain DNA and then we evolved our game and we got it right. But somehow I think we had the right decision makers in the right position to still be able to be in a final. You're up 24 something. Didn't give one box kick in the whole first half, and then in the second half you go, listen, we're 20 points ahead. We don't have to play rugby. Let's just be conservative. Let's kick in the corners. But I think yesterday, look, in that first half, I looked at it and I thought, I've never seen South Africa play with the width that we've played. And I mean, it was unbelievable. We scored beautiful tries. It was so easy to get momentum. It was so easy to get over that vantage line. But yeah, I'm a cyclist as well. And in cycling, they always say you only got so many matches to burn. And unfortunately, you only got so many matches. It doesn't matter how fit you are. You only got so many matches to burn. And I think as South African, our DNA, we need to use our matches in the right way. And he's a bit overconfident. He's a bit arrogant. I don't know. But I just thought we played way too much rugby. After we were 22-0 up, we didn't have to play rugby. We could have just kicked it in behind them. I don't think Australia's got the game to threaten you at this stage from their own 22. They're a team where Rassie was, when he started with the Boks, where, you know what, they do a few things right. They're very disciplined. They don't make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, they will punish you. And that's what they did. South Africa played too much rugby in that second half, gave them turnovers, gave them opportunities. And then all of a sudden, the crowd went quiet. The pressure came onto the Springboks. And that's what happened in the game. And then all of a sudden, everything went wrong.
It looked to me, Victor, like there was a specific game plan to take, Will Skelton out of the game and Tupou early. Like, let's just run them early. And I think it worked better than expected, to be fair. But it looked to me like, you mentioned the matches to burn. It looked like you actually don't have the fitness levels to play that style of football for 80 minutes. But when you look at the second half, right, a couple of things, and I think Sia said it after the game, I think you got a bit soft around the breakdown, firstly. And secondly, you actually played pretty well in the second half. You created the same opportunities, but then you were 50-50 passes. The error rate, the intercepts come from errors. It was just really interesting. And your bench, and I was thinking about the fart squad, the bomb squad, right? And actually, I was thinking about the difference between who's coming on now and who came on during the World Cup and during those moments, right? They're different players. I reckon some of these guys that are coming on don't have the experience yet to be good influence. They're still just trying to find their feet, I reckon. You've got these young guys coming in up front, right? So I think that the bench for the last few games has been outplayed. Like the Australian bench was way better than your bench. So I wonder whether Rassie needs to look at whether, you know, the bomb squad needs to be incredibly experienced to make a difference, or whether they're just taking for granted that it's going to happen now.
Yeah, and I'm saying it, and I'm talking about overconfidence, maybe arrogance. I mean, even our fans, our supporters, old players, we all. I mean, we believe in whatever Rassie is doing. We believe in the squad. I mean, beforehand, we played golf on Friday with George Gregan in South Africa. There's a thing going around about the 5 teams we can select. But do you want to select 5 teams? I'm still not quite there. Or do you want to say, listen, this is my 15 best players, or this is my 23, maybe 25 players. They're my best players, and I need them in big games. I mean, you've got a Andre Pollard in your squad. You're playing Australia that's just lost out against the British and Irish Lions. How don't you have a guy that's won you 2 World Cups, not at least on the bench? I mean, Marnie Libble played brilliantly in that first half. But when the pressure came on, that's when you want a guy like Andre. Listen, go on, just go calm things down. I mean, 22-12 up. We're in the 22, we're between the 2 10s. You don't have to play rugby. Just kick it in behind them, kick it into their 22. We try to play intercept pass. All of a sudden, all the pressure is on us. And I think that's where we're probably just missing out at the moment. Yes, we want to grow a squad. We believe in our squad. Rassie believes in giving this youngsters opportunity, putting them under pressure. And I mean, in the past, they came through. This is one game they didn't come through. So, yeah, are we maybe too critical now? But I mean, I think it was a wake-up call for South Africa. I think we're not so far ahead in front of everyone else that we think. And we need to make sure when we go into big test matches, we need our best players out there as well.
I was thinking last night about how I would think about it if I was Rassie. If you take the emotion out of it, Victor, if you take the emotion out of it, you actually created 5 or 6 opportunities in the second half. You know, there was a reaction. The reaction was just a bit panicked. You know, 50-50 passes, take the next ruck. You had them in 5 and 6s. So when I looked at the cold heart of it, I'm going, if it was me, and I wouldn't even be able to do his bootlaces up as far as his success as a coach versus mine. But when you look at the cold heart of day, you go, okay, do I need to relook at my changes? You know, Sia Etzebeth, mate, was unbelievable. He was running further than the loose forwards. Sia goes off, right? And the game changed a wee bit. Do you leave Sia on for longer? Do you look at your changes? Like I said before, if you watch, you would have been incredibly proud of Etzebeth. I thought he was your player of the day. He ran everywhere. He was unbelievable. He had this want, you know. In fact, he was outrunning some of the other players, which should have been embarrassing at time. Like, you know, he'd make a charge down, then he'd chase the kick. So if the other thing I wanted to ask you is I've been reading quite a bit about it, and I don't think I'd change that team. You know what it's like when you lose a test match. And I know what I read, you know, Rassie said, there could be changes. He's already spoken to the team in the change room. But they'll be hurting so much. I don't know if I would change the team. I'd give them another crack. Because if you think it's the best team, then that hurt you would take all week. You've lost. You know what it's like. I would want to play the next week.
No, I mean, knowing Rassie, and he said it after the press conference, the first thing is the coaches will look at themselves and how they manage. But, I mean, you mentioned it. I think we need to have a look at our bench. We definitely don't have the same impact at the moment from the bench. We don't have the bomb squad that we had a year ago or for the last 4 years. When that 3-4 guys come on, everyone's like, whoa. I mean, we didn't have it in this test match. We didn't have it against Italy as well. So I think there we need to have a look at it. And then again, I'm very much on having some of the experienced guys there, especially in critical positions where when the game gets tight, just to calm it down. And I mean, you said it. I think we were on their try line 3-4 times. We could have run away with that game. I don't think Australia beat us. I think we beat ourselves by just making too much mistakes in that second half. So it's such small margins of really having a fantastic test match. And I mean, again, at halftime, we looked at the game. I was going on about the width that we were playing on. Some of Marnie Libbok's passes, Grant Williams' passes, the width that we got outside them, how easy we got over the advantage line because of the width that we played with. But in the second half, because of that width, all of a sudden we didn't get to the breakdowns. All of a sudden, our forwards were just that step too slow to get to those breakdowns. And all of a sudden, all the turnovers, they got opportunities. Momentum got to their side. And that's just where I felt if we had a little bit more experience, if we had a Andre Pollard, a Willie Leroux, one of those guys that's just a little bit more experience on the bench, coming on in that critical position just to calm things down, 22-12. And I know we wanted to put a big score on there. Boys, let's win a test match. We're 10 points ahead. We don't have to play between the two teams. Kick in behind them, let them play, let's force them into errors rather than us making mistakes and us making the play and making the errors.
Do you think that this expansive style that they're trying to create, do you think it's, if they get the balance right, do you think it's the future, or do you just don't think it's part of your DNA?
I've said it to you. So I played in a team with the Bulls where we started off very conservatively, and then we went into 2 years where no one could stop us because we had that pack of forwards. We could play tactically very well, but we could always go and play the width of the game as well. So you want to have it. I mean, in that first half when I watched, I thought, they're not threatening us on attack. It's so easy for us. So it works. It's just to get that balance right, to know when to have a go at it and when to, it's not needed now. Let's save energy. Let's put the pressure on them. Let's make them play. So it's just decision making. It's a small, but I mean, if you look at our attack has never been as good as it is at the moment. It's fantastic when it's going well.
Look, Victor, for 22 minutes, I'm going, wow. You know, like I've talked about your pace out wide. I thought they were really, really good for 22 minutes, relaxed a wee bit. And I actually thought they were good in patches in the second half, to be fair, you know, and you can't take away what Joe is building in Australia. I mean, this is a different team that don't go away. You know, there's this kindling, you know, of belief within that Australian side. So, but I think, like, I tried to look at it in the cold heart of the day. If I was coaching, and yeah, I don't know if they should go away from that style of football. You're right; they just need to find that balance.
If you go to all great coaches that took over teams that struggled, actually go just a little bit more conservative. And that's what Joe Schmidt's doing with this team. They're not playing this expansive game that we used to of Australia, but they don't make mistakes. They're very, very clinical in what they're doing. Their kicking game is on the dot. Their defense is very good. They're very good at the breakdown. And when they get an opportunity of turnovers, I mean, they've got the speed, they've got the magic to go score off that. And I mean, they just did. I think, what was the penalty score? The penalty must probably have been 12 versus 3. And I think the only penalties we got was probably from the 2-3 scrums we got. So I mean, he's got them very disciplined. They know what they're doing, and they're very difficult to beat because they don't make errors.
Victor, tell me what happened in the lineouts, because that's normally a strength and you've got such great players there, but it really fell apart for you.
I need to have a look at it again. I've said it before. I think Loot is probably the best 5 lock in the world. And in that first half, he was so good with ball in hand. I mean, doing all those option plays, almost like a Retallick did for New Zealand when that golden era with Richie McCaw and Dan Carter and them. And he was really good. But at line-out time, I couldn't understand why they struggled so much. And for me, if you look at the Australian pack, Will Skelton is not a jumper. They actually only have 2 jumpers in that pack. And South Africa goes to a 4 and 5 man the whole day. If you go to a 7 man against that, they only got 2 jumpers. There must always be an option open. So for me, I couldn't understand why South Africa went to the 4 and 5 man the whole time when Australia only got 2 jumpers in the lineup that can contest. So, yeah, probably the planning going into the game wasn't spot on.
Would you make changes, Victor? What would you do this week?
I'll definitely 1 or 2 changes. I mean, Colby is ready to come back. Damien Dalende, I'll definitely put back in. I'm a big Handré Pollard fan. I'm a big Sasha fan. I'll have both those guys in the mix as well. Forward pack, as for me, I think the starting pack did really well. On the bench, I'll make changes. I think I'll have a Thomas du Toit there experience. I mean, he was the best player in Europe. For him coming off the bench, I think he's one of the top try scorers as well. When you get into the 22, he's so good at the try line. And then, I mean, if you want to have a bomb squad, you need to have RG Snyman there. Sous was really good. I think Mostert really made a difference. Once he came onto the field, we didn't lose one line out. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what they will do.
This is new territory for South Africa, where, you've been rolling everyone for so long. Now having to dig deep from an unexpected loss where you probably, as you said, may have been overconfident. What about the mental side of it? How do you think they're going to react as players?
Well, we say that, but I mean, both World Cups that they've won, they've lost in the pool stages. British Isles, Lions, they've lost the first test match. So I don't think Rassie will panic. And what John said as well, if you go and look at the test match, even in that second half, there was opportunities for them to actually run away with a test match. It's just about getting that balance right of when to really have a full go and when to maybe just save a little bit of energy, play the percentages, get in the right areas, play the pressure game that South Africa is the best at in the world. That's what we know. That's our DNA. Don't go completely away from that. We've got this attacking game we can play, but let's keep that pressure game in there as well.
Are we showing enough respect to Australia? I mean, we spoke last week, right? We spoke last week, and I thought, wow, this is going to be a really interesting test for this Australian team, and they passed it with flying colours.
They did, and I mean, in that second half, once they got a sniff, they were unbelievable. And like I said, what Joe Schmidt has done, I mean, he's beaten England away from home. He came very close to beating British Isles. He's beaten South Africa at altitude, at Ellis Park. They haven't beaten South Africa there since 1963. So, I mean, this is a great Australian team, and we need Australia to be great. But I think what he's done is he's got them to know exactly that they're not trying too many things, but what they're doing really well. They're very disciplined. They don't make mistakes. They don't give you turnovers. And, they don't make mistakes.
Well, obviously, wasn't a great weekend for you, Victor, but a little bit better for you, JK.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought the All Black. I mean, you go to Cordoba and you win by 40-odd points. You've got to be happy. There was a period in the play where the
didn't
game
win
was in
by
the
40.
balance.
You just win by 15 points. You scored 40.
We scored 40. We scored 40. We scored 40. I thought there was a period in the game where the crowd was getting behind Argentina and we were making a few errors, and that's where I thought the experience of Bodie sort of got us back into the game. I don't know what you thought, Victor, but when they were kicking for the corner, when they were only sort of 7 points ahead or something, whatever it was, like I thought, I would have taken that shot at goal to make it 10, but they must have felt something on the field. I really think that Bodie has, I guess in New Zealand, people are sort of divided because he's played fullback, played 10, played full. But I just think the way he's playing lately, some of his improvements with his goal kicking, but also his line kicking. I mean, at one stage you're under pressure and he kicks it, puts it out on the 5-yard mark. So I think if you're an All Black and I think if you're Razor Robinson, you come off that field and go, to win in Cordoba is not easy, but there was still plenty of work to do, And so for me, let's tick that box and move on. I think that, I think Proctor at centre is really learning his role. And this is what I get back to you about, Victor. I don't think test matches for some people come straight away. I think they need time to understand the speed, time to understand the decision making. So I think the I really think Proctor's a great player. I think he's getting exposed a little bit defensively, which he'll fix up. And so I think we're losing a couple of halfbacks. I thought the halfbacks came on, did okay. So tick the box and move on. Nothing really to talk about our performance. What do you think, Victor?
No, I thought it was great. Firstly, about Bowden Barrett. I mean, World Player of the Year twice. I don't know why people doubt him. He's an unbelievable 10. I think he's a much better 10 than a 15. It's always better playing against him if he's not a 10. And again, like you said, maybe not this goal kicker that Dan Carter was, but I mean, now he's kicking really well. But I just think the balance that he brings to a game, when he kicks, when he plays, I mean, when he takes the line on, the speed that he's got is unbelievable. And how funny is it? New Zealand go 3 maul tries. And that's why, again, when I go back to South Africa, we didn't score 1 maul try against Australia. And I mean, New Zealand go out. I think they got their balance right from when to play, when just to kick the ball in behind them. Not defensive kicking, attacking kicking. Put it in behind, forcing them to turn around, and then they forward back, using the energy to score tries. When you get into that 22, go at them, use your maul, go around the corner, and be effective in the 22.
2 maul tries, you would have been happy with that, Victor. I think the other thing, I thought Artie was quiet, and I just wonder whether we're still getting used to that loose forward mix, right? I'm relaxed that he had a quieter game because we need him to have a really loud game, especially as the tournament moves forward. But I just thought that loose forward trio was interesting. Is that the right balance? Duplessis Kirifi started, and whether they're quite similar, and you just got to find your balance, I reckon, when you've got a loose forward trio, who's going to be a bit looser, who's going to be a bit tighter. So, Artie was a bit tighter. I didn't see him carrying as much as he normally does. I don't know what you thought, but I'm just so excited about, and this is weird for me, Victor, so don't get me wrong, think that I love you guys, but I think Fabian Holland is just a real find. Like, his work rate, he's running around the field, he's making his tackles. I think we've got a real gem there that can really build into a world-class lock,
You all talk about the big body. I was actually very impressed with Fai at Lock last year. I thought he was outstanding. I don't know what you guys are going to do when Satiti gets back, because I mean he must get in there somewhere. I don't know if you'll play him at 8, and I don't know, or will he go to blind side and Savia go to open side? But yeah, it's a nice problem to have. But yeah, at this stage, it's working. You said you guys want a big body in there, can enforce, that can have an impact, and yeah, at the moment it's working. So I'm still
Yeah,
looking
look, I
forward
think
to that Eden Park test match. I must say, still looking forward to it.
can't wait. I think Satiti, mate. I think Satiti will come back at 8, and I think I think Artie.
Will they move Sevilla to the open side?
I think so. Yeah, I think when he's played there this year, he's been exceptional. And I just like that as a balance. I like when he can loosen up a wee bit. And, we need a big 6. We need a big 6 if we're going to compete in the line-out, like you said, especially against South Africa. You need those line-out options, as you would know. So, I think that I was really impressed with our scrum. That's going to be another good challenge when the game moves forward. The Argentinians are traditionally great scrummagers, and our scrum put them under huge pressure in the first half. And it was good that the young guys came on and got tested a wee bit as well. So, what do you think, Ricardo?
I think we've got two different approaches from New Zealand and South Africa. New Zealand is picking its best team and trying to win test matches and doing whatever they need to do to win test matches. So if they need to grind it out, they grind it out. South Africa's got this approach at the moment where they're trying different teams, they're trying different, a lot of experimentation to get the balance right when it's time for the World Cup, probably. What do you think of those two different approaches? Because they're quite different.
It's difficult because, I mean, I've got my own opinion. So I've only played in teams where we actually exactly knew who was the first 15 or the first 22. And whoever came in knew they were just standing in for the guys coming back. But I mean, Rassie doesn't believe in that. And you never know who he's going to pick. It's almost like the French. You never know who they're going to pick on a Saturday. And yes, this was this one failure now, but so far he's been very successful. He's won World Cups. I've said it, I think this is the best Springbok era we've ever had in South Africa. We've never been so successful. So it's very difficult after one test match to say whatever they're doing are wrong. So yeah, I think it's nice to have guys. When one guy get injured, you're not worried because the next guy can just step in. But I do believe, I like it, especially in key positions that you need, even if you change it around and you've got someone on the bench. But I just believe that if you've got a guy, and I keep going on about it, but if you've got a guy like Andre Pollard that won you World Cups, I want him in that team. Somehow, if he's fit and he's ready to go, you need him either starting or you need him on the bench for pressure situations if you need him.
Yeah, look, I think I don't know if I necessarily agree, Victor, because I think that your biggest risk is I think your team's old.
Andre is 31. He's younger than Beauden Barrett.
Older, right? But as a general thing, I think the two teams are in different situations around their evolution. Springboks have won the last 2 World Cups. They've got let's call them experience, because when you get a bit older, you've got an experienced side. But if you think back to what Rassie's traditionally done in between World Cups, and that's why Victor said it last week, like we win the championship because we always play our best side. So our evolution is probably a little bit more advanced. And I think what Razor's going is, I've got a nucleus of a side. I've got to play them so that they get what Victor said. They get that feeling they know what each other's doing. So I think sometimes we're a bit conservative around playing guys in positions. I think Rassie has done this in the past. So I think what Rassie's thinking about is I might have some players that will lose their legs or quite not make it. So I need to build a squad that's going to have that replacement. So I think they're two different evolutions at the moment. I think the All Blacks are going, let's settle on a team. Let's get them to play together, barring injuries, so they get that feeling they just know each other incredibly well. Whereas I think, Rassie's just in a different phase, and he's always done this. He's always done this.
And it's also, Razor is a new coach. They said, you're New Zealand. You should be number one in the world. You're always number one. That's the expectation of the public. So as a New Zealand coach, you're always under pressure to win every test match. I think Rassie is in a position that he's done so well that even, the people hated yesterday. They didn't expect it. But the people trust Rassie. So he can go out and he can go try things. Even if things don't really go his way, somehow the next week he'll get it to turn it around. So if we don't turn it around next week, then all of a sudden the pressure will come on. But if he turns it around next week again, everyone will still be behind him. We believe in him. He's the best coach that ever coached South Africa. And we go on. Where I think Razor is there where he still want to show, listen, I deserve to be in this position. I want to win every test match. I need to be the number one team. I need to be a 20-30% above all other teams in the world.
We actually have to. Victor. If we're not winning World Cups, then we have to be number one. It's important for our brand, important for our country. It's important for our players. And like I said, World Cups are really different. So a question about Rassie. So will that patience last till the next World Cup? He's got till the next World Cup, regardless of what he does, just because of what he's done in the past?
Yeah, I think so. But I think he'll still turn this around. The one thing that I think that he needs to just make sure is the way we want to play. I think in the last 2 years, especially with Tony Brown joining him, we definitely went a little bit more expansive. And again, in that first half, it worked. But if you think back to last year, the test match we lost against Argentina was actually exactly the same. We scored 3 tries in the first 10, 15 minutes. And then all of a sudden, things went bad and we lost that test match. Then we came to South Africa, turned it around, and we smashed them. So it's just about getting that balance. We're going a little bit away from, if we play that pressure game, we probably, that's the way we know how to win a test match. But he wants to evolve. He wants us to be the best in the world every year, not just at World Cups. Then we need to do certain things. So I think we just need to trust the system, and let's hope it will come good.
Yeah, I think it will, Victor. Like, for me, there's, once again, think about it in the cold, non-emotional light of day. Then there was some actually real good stuff in the second half.
A lot of good stuff.
Hang on to that ball. But once again, I think the most improved international side that I've seen is Australia. They are absolutely a force to be reckoned with, and I'm so happy that they are, because I think that, when you see them playing to that level, the interesting thing for me was, you guys didn't score a point after 22 minutes. It felt and looked like the first Lions test. But what I've been impressed with about Australia is, besides O'Connor, which I think is just a great story, just a great story, was that they seem to be getting parts of their game better week in, week out. So they are a side that's improving incredibly well. The Springbok needs to play to their very best next week, but I think you'll find a better Australia side as well. I do think they've got some issues at line out, just with Skelton not being a great jumper, and their loose forwards are great fetchers, but they're not big men. They're going to lose their captain. It looks like he did his knee, Victor. I don't know. You're on the sideline. He looked in pretty bad shape.
I went up to him and went to go congratulate him because I thought he was outstanding. He stood up in the big moments. He came through and unfortunately got injured. I went to just to congratulate him, but it looked like it's pretty bad. They took him up with a golf cart as well, so he will definitely be a big loss for them. He brings something special to the team. So will you be able to replace him? But again, I think when you win, that confidence grow within that team, especially when you get a victory like this one at Ellis Park. And then those small things that you were trying, all of a sudden they start working. You start believing in those things. They get momentum. So they're definitely on the up, and the momentum is on their side. But they will definitely face a South African team that will be backs against the wall. So again, I said it last week. We had our best when we're backs against the wall. We're not a team that go out and give people 50 points, and that's just the problem. What I felt again going back to our game is
I wonder if I wonder if
22-12 up. Just win the game. Didn't have to put them away and force certain plays.
I wonder if I should record your next golf game with Georgie Gregan. He'd be lippy, mate.
You know what's the worst?
He would have won a month's worth of dinners. He'd be going out for free
dinners. On Friday, on the 18th hole, we had to play the last hole with a 7-iron, but I had a 3-meter putt, 2 putts from 3 meter with a 7-iron to win against George Cregan, and I missed it, and he won the game. I 3-putted. So that all started there. And our cricket team lost against Australia as well. That's the worst thing. So we really had a bad weekend in South Africa.
Do you see the Rugby Championship as a 2-horse race between South Africa and New Zealand, or is it not like that anymore?
I definitely don't see it.
I still don't see Australia win it. I think it's going to be very difficult to stop New Zealand at this stage. I mean, they've won away from home, playing South Africa twice in New Zealand. Whoever is going to win this Rugby Championships need to get past New Zealand.
For me, Ricardo, I think that if you had have asked me at the beginning of the Lions series, I would have said 2-horse race. At the end of the Lions series, like Victor said, like people in the crowd might think, oh, that was a big loss, you know, for South Africa. But there's small margins. It's like 2 or 3% difference. And I think that if you don't bring your game against Australia, you'll lose. I think Argentina, if you don't bring your game, you lose. And that's great for the championship. So I still think South Africa are the team to beat. You know, Victor's playing that down and putting the pressure on us, but they're world champs. They've got all the pressure. Like everyone's coming for them. They are the benchmark because they win World Cup. So for me, it's going to be a really good competition to win. And this competition will help us win the next World Cup. You win this with the South African side. You know, South Africa won't lose another game unless through attitude and through just letting the game tactically slip away, right? The next lot of games will be 1 or 2 points. You know what I mean? Like it's going to come down to that, and that's what we need. So I don't think it's a 2-horse race. I think you could win the championship and lose a game, right?
Okay, yeah.
So everyone could lose a game and it might go down to the wire. So I think it's fantastic for the game because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, we all said it the whole time. We need Australia to be strong. And it's fantastic to see. I mean, the World Cup is there in 2 years' time. Just the momentum that's going to build behind this Australian team. And they're just going to get better over the next 2 years. So it's actually fantastic to see them back there competing. I mean, to see George Cregan's face after that game was just priceless. He was so happy. He couldn't believe it. But yeah, it's great. I mean, walking up to full war, what they've been through over the last few years, and now it's not just this one game. they were really competitive against the British Lions, and they were so close to winning that series as well.
I'll tell you what I wanted to mention as well. I think that, you know, and I keep talking about this, I thought Ben O'Keefe was outstanding. And I don't know what you thought, Victor, as the losing side, but I thought he was outstanding. I thought our referee in Argentina was a little bit pedantic. And the two different refereeing styles make such a different spectacle. Like, that was a really, really enjoyable game of rugby, South Africa, Australia. But then the pedantic ref against Argentina made it really clunky. I was a bit worried about it because, you know, that's when Argentina are really at their best, when you can frustrate the opposition. And sometimes that frustration comes through the ref. But I thought Ben O'Keefe was outstanding. What did you think, Victor, as a losing side?
Yeah, I think you get those refs in an era who's really confident, and you actually enjoy getting them. And you know, it doesn't matter who the captain is, you won't be able to influence him. And I think Ben O'Keefe is getting to that. He's very confident on the field. He makes his decision. The crowd can't get into him. The captains can. He's open for them to talk to him, but they can't influence him. So I really think he's a really good referee at the moment. He's very confident, and he makes the decisions, and he allows the game to flow. So I thought he had a really good game. Although there was a lot of penalties against us, but I think Australia were really good at the breakdown, so they deserved it.
I think when we're praising referees, it's probably a good time to stop. So
that will be the last time, especially if we lose.
Yeah. Thanks for fronting up, Victor, and thanks for getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, JK. That was Rivals for another week. Can't wait to see what happens this weekend coming up.
Thank you, guys. Well done, New Zealand. I'm still looking forward to the park.